Go. Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review episode 411. We're reviewing the second and final volume for One Piece Heroines. Excuse me. We have stories here for Boa Hancock, Tashiki, Ranji, she's Sanji's sister, Uta, Nami, and Robin. And for the ladies for this cover, I have met all of their voice actors. Yep. So here's the full cover spread here, with of course Tashigi, Ranja, and Boa Hancock. And here's a picture of the inside. So, Boa Hancock basically is why Grandma Nell nailed over. Tashigi is something about her. Terabakoka is Renju. Uta is where the wind goes. And then there's a Nami and Robin one, a fleeting moment. The Boa Hancock story, from what I can tell anyways, takes place, I'd say, probably one of the time, basically after the return of Saba Odi, where it's all about basically going back to the island. This is before the stuff with Blackbeard showed up, and her, and this is probably still when she's still a warlord, because there's no mention of Navy being their island right now. So, this is presumably set between return of Saba Odi and, before she lost position as a warlord, during that period of time. That's the best place you can place this particular story here. It's a really interesting story. Hancock is in it, but it seems like more focused on a new supporting character in the book, and more focused on a supporting character in the story than the actual Hancock herself. Where this girl was actually brought to her bedroom. No, not to sleep with her, just basically express her gratitude. Regis basically is set a little bit like when Sanji was still with the German Kingdom, but a lot of the present day story is set before the events of Whole Cake. Because it's brought up in the story that Sanji is being offered to marry one of Big Mom's daughters, so this is before the events of Whole Cake. Tashigi, because I mentioned here that she's the captain of Marine of G5, and there's no mention of Punk Hazard here per se. Nope, no mention of Punk Hazard. So my guess is for this story is that it's set before Punk Hazard, despite the fact that was, in a way, probably like the third story post time skip. This is before Punk Hazard with this one. What's all about Toshigi. And Smoker's here, and there's no, the thing with basically that particular base where, all of the Marines are in love with her. Because she's a beautiful woman, and they call her, in the sub, they call her Toshigi-chan. And these guys very deeply cared about her. To the point, basically, they basically sacrifice themselves and to make sure she get the safety because they deeply cared about her. Yeah, basically, and gotta appreciate the fact her men actually care about her. But you probably think, okay, what about the Robin and what about the Uta story? Uta's, from what I can tell, takes place, I would probably say, just after the flashback episode seen in the main anime and before events in the movie. Uta herself is definitely canon, of course. But her story, but Red is not canon because it's an original. But in the case of bonus story, which is not very long, it is mostly it's mostly more about Nami than it is basically about Robin. It's basically, it does feature the Straw Hats, but it's mostly a Nami story. But, excuse me. So by the way, the story is written by Jun Iska, art by Siska Sawa. Now, the opening story, the Boa Hancock one, that is 32 pages. Tashigi is, looks like to be about 36. Renju is 32. Uta's is 34. How long is Nami and Nami and Robin. This one is really short. It's actually the shortest story of all of these. This one here is roughly about 12 pages. But yeah, this book is a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, in case you might be asking, excuse me, do I plan to review more of the One Piece light novels? Oh, heck yes, definitely. There's no doubt about it, basically, that is definitely going to happen. So, because of fact these are short stories from like I think they're published like in the One Piece magazine. So basically the Boy Hancock story that comes from One Piece magazine volume 12. The Shiki comes from volume 13. Renju's comes from volume 17, and Uta's comes from volume 15, and the extra story for Robin and Nami, that's an extra story. That was not originally from those stories. Per se. No. Oh, and I'm looking forward to the anime when it comes out. I love the fact we're getting one. Yeah. As for when the anime is coming out, I'm not really sure. It's just that they announced just this year on One Piece Day, which was on the usually celebrated the 22nd of July. Yeah, so that's basically when they decided to announce basically annotation of this book. But this book is a lot of fun. Now, funny enough, interesting enough, the other thing is I ever reviewed for the light novels is just, aside from this book in particular, the only other light novel I've ever reviewed is the Ace light novels. Yes, and he has 2. Yes. And the stories themselves are basically, well, yeah, the feature original characters, but I don't know if this... It's something that they won't adapt this variant, but they'll adapt this one. Yeah, and is there others? Yes, there is. There's also Defeat Hemi the Pirate Goza. Yeah, there's no English release date for this one. Law, definitely there is. Oh yeah, there is. It was actually released here. As a matter of fact, it's coming out next month. There's also Law, the Honor of Kachu. That has no release date for that one. There is Zoro. Yes, Zoro's got his own story. So the other ones we released here for the One Piece novels had just been the Ace ones and Heroines. And that's pretty much it. There's also One Piece novel, Straw Hat Stories. Still doesn't release date for that one. Now, is this book one of the original? Yeah, this is one of the original stories here. Now, Defeating the Pirate Goza, that's an adaptation, long arc adaptation. Yeah, there's some adaptations of actual stuff that's been, like, some from the show, some from the movies. It's a maybe if I get a chance to read them. Yeah. But not much to say. What rating do I give this book? A 10 out of 10. I enjoy this book. Okay, so that's pretty much it for particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. I will see you tomorrow for more of from Atlas and Bookworm and at least one comic corner. Okay, next to you. Bye.